Well, good morning, everyone out there. Welcome to our digital space at Center for Spiritual Living, Los Angeles. So good to be here with you again this morning. Always good to join you guys. Hope you're staying safe and a little warm, a little dry in this rainy weather. And let's go ahead and start the service off with some music, shall we? When it's not always raining, there'll be days like this. When there's no one complaining, there'll be days like this. Everything falls into place like the flick of a switch. Well, my mama told me there'll be days like this. When you don't need to worry, there'll be days like this. When no one's in a hurry, yeah. There'll be days like this. When you don't get betrayed by that old Judas kiss. When my mama told me there'll be days like this. When you don't need an answer, there'll be days like this. When you don't need a chancer, there'll be days like this. When the parts of the puzzle start to look like they fit. When my mama told me there'll be days like this. When everyone is up front and they're not playing tricks. When you don't got no freeloaders out to get their kicks. When it's nobody's business, oh, the way that you wanna live. Oh, I just have to remember there'll be days like this. When no one steps on my dreams, there'll be days like this. When people understand what I mean, yes, there'll be days like this. When you ring out the changes, oh, of how everything is. My mama told me there'll be days like this.
Good morning, Donald James Harper.
Good morning, Keith. How you doing?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
Can't complain, man.
Good. There'll be days like this, meaning that it's here, right? The day's here.
The day such as this one is
The
here.
day is here, right? So it's a great day if you choose to make it a great day. Right?
Yeah.
I have this T-shirt that says "It's a good day for a good day."
Oh, I like that.
Right? It's a good day for a good day. So
Hmm.
let's all choose to make sure that today is a good day, no matter what's going on with the atmospheric rivers and the likes. So,
Mm. And
right?
so it is.
Good. Well, I'm looking forward to sharing this time with you. 2 weeks in a row, we're going to have you. It's fantastic. And
Woo!
I love the setting that you're in, new setting with your curtain up, and it just pops. It's black, the blackness of your shirt, the lightness of your skin, and then the blackness of your guitar and the lightness of the trim. It's very color coordinated. I appreciate it. And actually even
Well,
matches the colors I'm in. So
look at that.
we're,
It always seems
we're-
to line up.
I know we were speaking earlier about how one mind, one mind, one mind. So fantastic. Cool. All right, James. Well, we'll see you in a bit.
See you in a few.
Good. Good morning, everyone. I'm Reverend Dr. Keith Cox. I'm the spiritual leader here at the Center for Spiritual Living, Los Angeles. And it is indeed Sunday, February 4th in the year 2024. And no matter where you are and where you may be joining us from, know that it's the perfect and right place to express the divinity in all of its magnificence and glory, which is what's happening by means of you, just simply because you are here in life, choosing to let today be a good day for a good day. So I'm affirming for all of us it is indeed a good day. We come together on Sunday mornings for our Sunday morning celebration service. It's a time to come together to open up and receive and to learn and to grow and to experience and to revisit ideas that we've known from before if we've been around this teaching philosophy for a while. And if we're new to it, to hear things, something new. And even if we have been here for a while, let's choose today to let today be the day to hear things, no matter whether we've heard the words before, but to hear them anew, to allow the vibrancy, the frequency of that which is being shared with us today by means of message and information and music as a way to touch our soul and to expand our consciousness. And that's really what we're here about. So welcome, 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 and welcome. So today I'm going to place on the screen, or right now, I'm going to place on the screen our opening slides for this portion of our service. And let's just know together that right where we are is the perfect and right expression of life. Here we go. We are the Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles, and our vision statement is supporting individuals finding personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening. That awakening is a remembrance of who and what we are as divine beings navigating this thing called life as humans, doing our best to let our divinity be the impetus for how we express our humanity. And so a big hello to all of us and a welcome. And just as we were already addressing, let's choose for today to be Oh Happy Day. We just heard or were shared with us from our viewers on YouTube a post by our Reverend Lenore saying, let's choose for today to be a happy day, and in gratitude for all that do what they do to bring this service to come together in our community to be what it is. As we kick off the month of February, we move into the expression of love. The theme you'll hear later is to soar with love, or I guess you heard it right now. And today we're going to talk all about love and how do we experience, express, give, receive more and more and more. That is love. Let's begin by doing that by honoring all aspects and expressions of life, by honoring all races and religions and ethnicities and countries of origins and gender identities and sexual orientations and abilities and disabilities and spoken languages and all ages, everyone in life. Let's open our mind and our hearts to not only acknowledge the uniqueness that is each individual life, but to welcome one and to welcome all into this space that we call our virtual home. But more importantly, into our heart and into our awareness of the ability to honor and acknowledge and celebrate all that is the individualization of the one thing which we call spirit. As a community, we come together and have for over 30 years to teach primarily the philosophy, faith, and way of life known as the science of mind. This, in its most collaborative way, if you will, is a book that was published in 1926. That's the expressions of this philosophy, the compilation of all the great wisdoms, spiritual wisdoms of the world at the time by Dr. Ernest Holmes. And Dr. Ernest Holmes had, this book was published, his writings, with the core essence of there's really one thing taking place in life. Not one, as I was speaking of last week and learning recently, from a numerical perspective, but one referencing wholeness, that there is really wholeness that exists in life. And you and I, as I stated earlier, are individualizations of that wholeness. And we get to experience and express it through our thoughts, our actions, our reactions, and our interactions with the very thing itself. We call that thing by many different terms in this philosophy, and I'm going to address that later today, one of which is God. The other is the thing itself. It's also known as source. It's known as the universe. Why that matters is because as we individualize it, it is also governed by spiritual law. What that means in a practical perspective is that it responds to us by corresponding to our state of being and how we express it. Really, in simple terms, it responds to us to how we show up in life and believe about ourselves. So it all comes down to, if we want to change our life, we get to change our thinking. That's its most fundamental way of looking at it. As we can add on to that, that really is all about how we curate and connect to changing our thinking in a way that is developing a state of mind, a state of being, a state of awareness, so that the totality, to the best of our ability, expresses our divine nature. In our philosophy, faith, and way of life, we like to look at our divine nature, including, but is not limited to, peace, power, beauty, joy, light, life, love, and wisdom. Choosing to live with those qualities in us and to express them and experience them to the best of our ability really supports the vision statement for our community, which is supporting individuals finding their personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening. I'm going to repeat that for us, which will be the third time we've heard it today, and I want it to resonate within each of us in a new way today. As a people, we support individuals finding their personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening. Why does that matter? It matters because through these awakenings, the law of life responds and creates a shift in life, individually and collectively. So let's all open up through the act of breath and exhale and invite in that shift. We do that through our opening ritual. Focusing on love today in our opening ritual, we call in the light. I love this graphic on the screen when you look at all the different candles with a unique individual flickering flame, while at the same time they all represent the one flame. It's a metaphor for each one of us. And so as we honor the flame within right now, let's perform this ceremony for our own selves as well as for all of humanity, to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples and all faiths, all sentient beings come from the one great universal presence. It's that which I referred to earlier. Right now we call it spirit. And the purpose of this ritual is to draw into our gathering this morning a more conscious awareness of our oneness and the qualities that we possess as complete expressions of the divine. I love the great 12th century or 13th century poet Rumi. I'd like to use a poem of his as an invitation for us to go deeper. And when I say the word I, it's referencing each one of us on this journey. I prayed for change, so I changed my mind. I prayed for guidance and learned to trust myself. I prayed for happiness and realized I'm not my ego. I prayed for peace and learned to accept others unconditionally. I prayed for abundance and realized my doubt kept it out. I prayed for wealth and realized it is my health. As I prayed for a miracle and realized I am the miracle. And I prayed for a soulmate and realized I am the one. I prayed for love and realized it's always knocking, but I have to allow it in. Love. It's life's one vital energy. Let's feel it knocking, and once again, take a deep breath in. And as we exhale, invite it in. And hear the definition of love as defined by Ernest Holmes, the self-givingness of spirit through the desire of life to express itself. I'd like to augment that today, so it reads, the self-givingness of spirit through the nature of life to express itself in terms of creation. And we allow it to create itself through us by letting ourselves love each other and love ourselves. great Emerson tells us that love is a synonym for God. And so as we further call in the light, James is going to come on the screen and take us through our song, Calling in the Light. Remembering that light and love are synonymous. And so feel free to sing along. It's a call and response song, and the lyrics will be on the screen.
Calling in the light, calling in the light, calling in the light of love, calling in the light, calling in the light, calling in the light of love. You know what to do. Repeat after me. I am love, I am peace in my heart, I am free, I am spirit, I am soul, all together we are whole. Calling in the light, calling in the light, calling in the light of love, calling in the light, calling in the light, calling in the light of love. Calling in the light of love. And so it is, and so it is, and so it is.
And so it is, just
So it
hanging
is.
on to that last vibration of the guitar string is a reminder to us of the vibratory nature and the energy of life itself. Because we can feel the shift during the ritual, right?
Yeah.
And so good, good. Oh, love it,
I
love it.
always love when you have me do that song. It's such a grounding, centering experience
It
for me.
is. It is, and it's also well, it is a grounding, centering song, and it's
Yeah.
also the energy behind it is that, as are the lyrics behind it is that, but it's also the because it has been sung so many times and we hear it so many Sundays, the energy layers upon itself in consciousness. That's really what we teach. I
Mm.
watched this documentary this week called The Night of Pop, I believe it is, and it's the making of We Are the World. It's on Netflix, and I encourage everyone
Oh
to watch
yeah.
it. It's spectacular. It's spectacular, and it really tells the story of how the night came together for the making of We Are the World, and it's so well done. And in it, Quincy Jones is talking about music, and he talks about the um, connection, this are going to be my words, of the interconnectedness of he didn't say spiritual, but that was he was implying, the spiritual cellular nature of the energy of music and its ability to communicate that is transcendent of the physical world, but also the memory that we have that goes with it, that the memory is deep in our soul. I rewound. I was like 11:52 at night, and I rewound it and heard him say it again, and hit rewind and heard him say it again. It was like, oh my God, he's screaming metaphysics, like he's teaching metaphysics. You go, Quincy Jones. Q, do it. Q.
I guess it makes sense with his involvement how he would kind of naturally understand the metaphysical nature of music.
Yes, yes.
That's really cool. I
It's
love that.
interesting. Right before we came on, my friend posted it on Facebook, and I read it, and I just posted it on my page. This young man and I say young, he's about 10 years old, talking about it doesn't matter what language we communicate in because it's not about the words, it's about the frequency.
I think about that often, how cool it is that music transcends language and we just
Yeah.
inherently understand it as spiritual beings. That's why what
Well,
drew me to do music in the first
yeah.
place.
Well, you just returned from Mexico, correct?
I did.
And I'm sure there were numerous times there was you would encounter someone who spoke a different language, verbal language that you did, and yet you can sense the intent of what's transpiring, right?
Truth.
Right? So
Yeah,
that's
constantly.
yeah, good. So speaking of connectedness, you and I were giggling this morning before the service when you were sharing the music that you had chosen, and you talked about what the next song you're about to sing has a lyric in it, and I screamed and kind of like because in a good way, because I read to you the quote that I'm going to use in my second slide, and it could not be more perfect. And we had discussed it on zero level whatsoever going in, correct?
I just feel like it always happens, and it's just so cool every time.
Well, it's evidence of exactly what we teach. Exactly what we're here to learn and teach and practice. So, anything you want to say about the song before you take it away?
Well, and I was when you were reciting that Rumi poem, I thought it was really cool. This song to me is kind of that reminder of you. If you're looking for a miracle, you can find it within yourself. If you're looking for the love, you can find it within yourself. So it's called Learn to Fly. It's like we're constantly learning how to find that energy within ourselves and use it to propel us into the sky or the world or
Perfect.
what have you.
All right, take it away.
Run and tell all of the angels this could take all night. Think I need someone to help me get things right. Hook me up a new revolution, 'cause this one's not alive. We sat around laughing and watching the last one die. And I'm looking for the sky to save me, looking for a sign of life, looking for something to help me burn out bright. And I'm looking for a complication, looking 'cause I'm tired of lying. And I'll make my way back home when I learn to fly. I think I'm done nursing the patience. It could wait one night. Give it all away if you give me one last try. Live happily ever after if you just save my life. Run and tell the angels that everything's alright. Looking for the sky to save me, looking for the sun of life, looking for something to help me burn out bright. Yeah, and I'm looking for a complication. Now I'm looking 'cause I'm tired of lying. Make my way back home when I learn to fly alone with me. I can't quite make it alone. I'm trying to make this life my own. Fly along with me. I can't quite make it alone. And try to make this life my own. And I'm looking to the sky to save me, looking to the sign of life, looking for something to help me burn out bright. And I'm looking for a complication, looking 'cause I'm tired of lying. Oh, I'll make my way back home when I learn to make my way back home when I learn to make my way back home when I learn to fly.
Make my way home when I learn to fly.
Learn to fly.
That's what we're going to take away from that, besides a fantastic and beautiful performance and song and very heartfelt. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I'm closing that out kind of quickly with James because I want to stick with that line of I'll find my way back home when I learn to fly. Our theme for the month as we move into February is to soar with love. Soar. This quote that's going to reference finding my way back home when I learned to fly by Mark Sterling says, if you want to soar in life, you first must learn to fly. Fly being an acronym meaning first love yourself. First love yourself. If we're going to soar with love in life, obviously a play on the title to soar with love, but if we're going to soar with love, we must first learn to love ourselves. To love ourselves. That's both with the lowercase s, the individual of life, and the uppercase S, spirit. This quote takes me back to my early days in this teaching, in the early 1980s and the early to mid 80s, and hearing and being taught to love myself. At the time, it was such a foreign concept. I had been taught that you love God and that you ask for forgiveness, and in the best case scenario, you like yourself and let Spirit God do the rest. Now, over time, as that's changed in my life, that's still true, but it's a different God. It's a God not of judgment or punishment, but a God of infinite nature, of love, of impersonalness. And after I moved through, as I'm sure many of you have, years of struggle and confusion and practice and evolution, I was able to move into not only experience and expression of loving myself, lower and uppercase S, but also the experience of that. I found this quote that talks about the 3 stages of love. And I'm going to talk a lot today about love. And I know every year I talk about it in February, and you're going to hear some things you probably heard before. And I really encourage and invite you today to open up and hear it anew through the lens of commanding to the self that today is the day that we choose to first love ourselves and letting the self-givingness of spirit do its thing through us. In this quote, the 3 stages of love, the first one is, I need you to love/need me. The second is, I will love myself. And the third is, I am love itself. Now, just looking at those 3 stages alone, it lends one to an understanding of the journey of the different facets of love. And also for us to understand that that journey isn't a linear one. There can be times in our life when all 3 of those can exist. I was talking to a client this week about looking at the understanding of spirit, the individual spiritual conscious evolution. You know, it's like looking at a slinky turned upside down, and it's the movement of the spiral upwards. And there are times we'll spiral back down, but if the intent and the purpose is to constantly be expanding or evolving in consciousness so that our state of being reflects our divinity, even when we move backwards, if you will, on this journey, then we're meeting that at an overall different consciousness. When I say move backwards, let's explain this and hopefully it'll make sense. We're always spiraling either upwards or down in consciousness relative to the vibrations based on the map of consciousness, which I'll share in a moment with us, as well as there's the pendulum happening always of creation. So energy is moving like this while we're moving in it like this, right? Love is what we're here to talk about today. There's an author, and I can't see it on my quote that I pulled as to exactly who it is, but I love it in the sense of our understanding love as what we are itself, as the essence of life. Gives one the knees to crawl, feet to run, legs to sprint, and wings to soar. Wings are required to fly, to soar. First, love yourself. It's not the first time in life that there have been stages of love or facets of love that's been addressed. It's actually addressed in the Bible. I'm going to share with you some different facets right now to look at. There's addressed from a psychological perspective, the affection aspect of love, the friendship facet of love, the passion of love, and then the selfless nature of love. There's also, through the Greek approach to life, which is what's addressed somewhat in the Bible, is there's the eros aspect of love, the storge aspect of love, the philia aspect of love, and the agape aspect of love. I think it's important for us, even as you've heard these before, to begin to look at love as they're not individualized, they're just expressions or facets of love itself, of the expression of the divine eros. That's that sexual and romantic type of love. And then part of the reason I think it's important for us to understand this, if we're going to first love ourselves, to understand the energy by which we're engaging in and expressing, and what we may be feeling in the context of these facets of the oneness of life itself, if you will. There's the storges, which is the familial love. It's that which is both biological, connected family, and that which is non-biological, chosen family that we all have. But we all know that feeling of connectedness through family, familial love. The other is philia love, which is the brotherly love. It's that which unites us in belief systems. It's brotherly, sisterly love. It's that which is oftentimes cause for connection in groups that have a cause that they are standing for. And then there is the agape love, God's love. Love. No matter where we each are in our life and in the evolution of where we are and our own conscious awareness and engagement of expressing and experiencing love, it, as its essence, never changes. It's within us waiting, as James was saying about, for us to allow it out, to give it, to not live life with a clenched fist. In our ritual every Sunday morning, Calling in the Light, we address this concept of opening up to more and more of that which it is. We did this morning. It says, in this ceremony, we promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples and all faiths, all sentient beings come from the one great universal presence, which we call spirit. That spirit, which is you and is me, is also known as love. Dr. Ernest Holmes, as I spoke of earlier, defines that as the self-givingness of spirit through the nature of life to express itself in terms of creation. Emerson tells us that love is a synonym for God. Now, as I'm sharing these various definitions, I want you to open your mind in any way to hear not only the core definition of love itself, but to be able to look at it through these different facets and phases of life, so that one can be clearer in how you're wanting to experience and express love, and as it's coming back to us, in what facet or capacity is it happening. So we're not confused about that, should that we be experiencing brotherly or sisterly love when we're desiring eros love, and it may or may not be a fit. In the book, How to Speak Religious Science, love is defined in this way, some of which you will have heard before. God is the essence of love. In the Bible it says, "He that loveth not knoweth not God, for God is love." Also tells us that love is the self-givingness of spirit to its creation and is a cosmic force whose sweep is irresistible. And this is the one that speaks to me the most right now. Love is the highest vibration of the universe. Nothing can stand its embrace. The opposite of love is fear. Vibrations. We were just speaking of them. The vibration of love. We all certainly know the vibration of fear. And if we're being told its opposite is love, we probably know the feeling of love too. I'm sure, and I affirm for all of us that we do. But we're also taught oftentimes that we weren't worthy of it, either through religious teachings or spiritual teachings or based on our heart being broken or something within our familial environment or the brotherly sisterly environment. Today is our day as an opportunity. Today is the day as an opportunity to create a shift in our life and to begin to rise above the past, releasing fear and converting, transforming that energy of fear into that which is love. The reason I'm grabbing my phone is I'm pulling up our new thought text for the day. That was by Pam Grout, and it says, if you ask me, learning how to transform energy is so important it should be taught along with reading, writing, and arithmetic. And it all starts with intent, the force that lies behind everything. It's the energy, the fuel, the electric charge that sets up a resonant field and sends out probability waves. Gracias, Pam Grout. She's telling us here that when our intent is love, one's life's one vital energy, that there's a force behind that that lies behind everything. It's the energy, the fuel, the electric charge that sets up a resonant field and sends out probability waves, which then must return to us equal or greater to that which it is. In the map of consciousness, which is a measurement, it's a created measurement that Dr. David Hawkins created, looking at vibratory fields of the human and then of life itself, anything that is sentient or conscious, from low to high, low in the 0, 20, 30, 50, 75, resonating through, he practiced this on thousands of people using kinesiology and consciousness reading. The low ends are shame, guilt, apathy, grief, fear, desire, anger, pride, moving up from shame to pride. But all of those fall into an overarching category that is focused on living life with destructive and contracted energy that is really all about a consciousness of struggle and suffering. And then as one moves higher into the field, we move into a state of empowerment. Remember our vision statement, supporting individuals finding personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening. And that brings in emotions of courage, neutrality, willingness. It's in that state of willingness and acceptance and reason, which moves up into the 310, 350, 400 vibratory frequencies, resonance fields, far beyond the 20 to 175 where pride is a state of transformation. Grout's telling us when we learn how to transform energy, and right now we're looking at transforming our energy from fear into love as a resonance field in life, that the universe responds to that. So imagine if we went through life, all of life, focused on first loving ourselves as a consciousness energy resonance field, how life could indeed be changed. Why? Because life responds to us by sending out that which we are into probability waves, bringing back to us more of that which it is. But also if we then begin to engage in all of our relationships, whether they are eros, storges, philia, or agape, how life will not only change in that way for us, but for others, but also how our perspective on our expectations can indeed change. So then we get to move upwards on this map of consciousness and choose love, which is right halfway in the middle between 0 of shame and 1,000 and enlightenment. It's a heart-centered activity. It's an activity of living life that's vibratory in love, experiential in love, expression in love. And we can surround ourselves with these energies through our music, through our media, through those that we love in our life, those that we engage in life, how we interact with life, how we act as life, how we react to life, and so on, and so on, and so on. When you and I choose, should we desire to do so today, and I'm going to affirm for each one of us that we are starting today with no judgment, to live from this place, from this vibratory heart-centered activity, by thinking and acting and reacting and interacting with life from this state of mind, indeed what's happening is we will begin to create an energy field around us that ultimately is co-creating a world that not only feels right, but which can then reinforce our vision statement of supporting individuals finding personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening in all people's lives, but also supports the greater vision of the Center for Spiritual Living, which is creating a world that works for everyone. We do that by beginning to first love ourselves. We do it by learning to fly so that we can indeed soar with love. Well, how do we do that? It's a big idea. But from a practical perspective, where do we begin? I believe that we begin through the act of self-love, loving ourselves. And self-love is not selfish, it's not selfless, but it is indeed self-aware. But once again, taking it back to my childhood, which I'm sure many of us have had some similar experience, we were not taught that. In those most of us probably were not taught that in those most impressionable years, where those imprints were being placed into our subconscious mind that then created behavior patterns for us as we began to mature in life, at least chronologically and developmentally into adulthood. And so often our behaviors reflected those ideas. Well, today we can choose anew and choose self-love. And I'll never forget one day, not so long ago, my mother was screaming at me, telling me I was selfish based on choosing self-love. To which I responded, no, my dear, you're confused. This isn't selfish, it's self-awareness. I share that with you because it's all important to take a stand in life in regards to self-love for the purpose of the evolution and development of our own consciousness so that it reflects where we desire to be on the map of consciousness, or as just the trajectory of our life. Self-love is often misconstrued as a false sense of protection. Self-love is actually letting yourself live freely and accepting the outcome in each and every decision, both in darkness and in light. So why don't we love ourselves? The answer is because we want to wait until we are perfection. And it's actually because we're waiting until we feel or taste or see perfection. But we're talking about perfection in the external, perfection in the experiential, perfection as a manifestation or demonstration in life. And that doesn't exist. Because that which is external, that which is physical, that which is a manifestation is just a compilation of energy fields that's always moving and constantly composing and recomposing and decomposing itself. The perfection that we seek to experience and express is a reflection of that which is internal. Perfection, that which is the divine. Perfection, which is the spirit that we refer to when we say that love is the self-givingness of spirit, whose nature is that of creation. A shift is what's required to engage in self-love. The myth of perfection is widely taught and believed in. People feel unacceptable to themselves until they live up to their own or others' definitions of what is meant to be perfect. Most people have never examined those definitions in order to dispel the mythology. But today, let's dispel it by choosing to love ourselves in whatever manner feels right, and to allow the love that is within us to make itself known. I have a quote from Ralph Waldo Trine, who at the time was one of the most widely read of all New Thought writers. He was a philosopher, mystic, teacher, and author of many books, and one of the early mentors of the New Thought movement. Born in 1866 and moved to the next dimension in 1958, and he says this: love is the key to life, and its influences are those that move the world. Well, whose world? And what does move mean? Well, Pam Grout told us as to why that movement exists. Move means a shift in states of mind, meaning that an experience. It's the the act of creation continually happening in a way that is reflecting the desire of the individual. So the world that's being moved is your world, my world, our world. But the truth is, there's really only one world. We are the world. Watch the documentary. It speaks so boldly to the way to live and to come from love, to check your ego at the door, as Quincy told them. He didn't do that from wagging his finger. He did that because he had a vision that needed to be implemented in a short block of time. And so it wasn't ego that was stating that. It was the essence of the divine that was guiding and propelling a manifestation and experience that can only happen when the coalescing of energy could come together. Today, I invite us all to open ourselves up to choose to live from the heart and to be a conscious co-creator in the world, your world, my world, the world itself, because the reality is it doesn't happen by accident. It happens as a result of decisions, choice, intention, and willingness. It's not new to us to have love be our decision. We sing about it many Sundays. We're going to sing about it at the end of the service today. The lyrics from this song by the great Daniel Nahman and repurposed for us many ways by the great Andy Ballin. The lyrics are these, a great mantra to live by. Love is my decision. It's up to me to give of my heart. Love is my decision. No one else can tell me to start. And once I decide to change my mind, Source will show me how. For love is my decision right here and now. Right here and now. Right here and now, I invite us each to make a decision and say it together. I'm going to share it with you, and I know that each of you will say it aloud wherever you may be. This is our affirmation for the day and the week. I embrace, accept, and live with love as my nature. Say it with me. I embrace, accept, and live with love as my nature. It's through this conscious act of deciding to affirm this, to intend it, and to let the energy of life respond to us, that it will indeed happen. It's important for us to remember the line in there. Once we've said it and invited it in and affirmed it, Source will show me how. Source will show me how. So often we want to make the statement, make the affirmation, release it to the universe, and then decide what it's going to look like. It's that deciding it's going to be philia love when it shows up as agape love. Deciding that it's supposed to look a certain way, and then we fear that happening, when really our goal is, and objective is to just let love continue to be present. Imagine what our lives could look like, individually and collectively, if we just let love be our guide for an hour a day, maybe 2 hours a day, maybe 2 hours and 22 minutes a day. You can even portion that out in 12.2 minute segments. It's really not about the time, it's about the intent. It's about the intention. It's about the purpose. It's about using our mind, our heart, our soul, our being in a new way to create a shift in life for ourselves, which then brings about the reflection of spirit creating through us in a way that's conscious. Just looking at the map of consciousness alone, we know that our role here is to move beyond shame and apathy and guilt and fear, to have the courage, which is that breaking point from falsehood, from fear to truth and power, Courage, meaning to live from the heart. That's the literal translation, the Latin translation. Not in Latin, obviously, but that's how it's translated. Courage comes from the word courage, which means to live from the heart. It takes courage to live that way, but we each have that within us. It's not something we need to create. It's already there. Our role is to allow it to do its thing through us. Also, not a new concept, but we can hear it anew today. We can engage in it anew today. We can let it use itself through us in a new way today. The great Martin Luther King, and I love using this quote today as we are now into the month of Black History Month. And there's so much about Dr. King and this movement. And I invite you all to see the movie Rustin if you haven't seen it. Just pivotal and powerful in today's world. But the great Dr. Martin Luther King said, a quote, "Use me, God. Show me how to take who I am, who I want to be, and what I can do, and use it for a purpose greater than myself." Love is what we're talking about this month. Self-love first. First, love yourself. You got to learn to fly so that you can soar. The great Neil Donald Walsh tells us love is not what you want. It's what you are. Love is what we're born with. Fear is what we learn. Today, let's let go of that and learn anew. Walsh goes on to say, love is not what you want, it's what you are. It's very important to not get these two confused. If you think that love is what you want, you'll go searching for it all over the place. If you think love is what you are, you'll go sharing it all over the place. The second approach will cause you to find what the searching will never reveal. Today, we have before us the opportunity to share it, to give it, to feel it, to know it, to experience it, to reveal it, and to open up and be it. You already are it. Let it shine. Namaste. I'm going to invite James back to sing another song for us that's going to align perfectly with every other facet of today's service.
When the rain is blowing in your face and the whole world is on your case, I could offer you a warm embrace to make you feel my love. The evening shadows and the stars appear, and there's no one there to dry your tears. I would hold you for 1,000,000 years to make you feel my love. I know you haven't made your mind up yet, but I can never do you wrong. I've known it from the moment that we met. No doubt in my mind where you belong. I'd go hungry, I'd go black and blue, I'd go crawling down the avenue. No, there's nothing that I wouldn't do to make you feel my love. The storms are raging on a rolling sea, and on the highway of regret, the winds of change are blowing wild and free. You ain't seen nothing like me yet. Can make you happy, make your dreams come true. No, there's nothing that I wouldn't do. Go to the ends of the earth for you to make you feel my love. to make you feel my love.
Just exquisite.
Thank you so much.
Just to make you feel my love. Obviously, we know the word make doesn't mean make, but it's just so that I can present my love.
Mm,
Right? Ah. Well, you've brought love here today. Thank you so much for that.
thank you for having me.
Very heart centered. And just a reminder, we'll have you in person in our in person service next Sunday back at our home at Congregation Colamy. So,
Yes, I'm looking forward to it.
me too. It's going to be a great day. And Sherry Bazanis keeps asking us if we're celebrating Valentine's Day. I'm like, well, of course we are. It's February. So we are. We hope to see everyone there next Sunday. So, James, thank you for being here today. I know you'll be back at the very end to take us to back to Love Is My Decision, which will be in just a few minutes. So we'll see you in just a second. So
Thank you.
everyone, thank you all for being here today. I'm going to place on the screen right now our invitation to everyone to support us with conscious giving and to know that it's your support consciously and financially that allows us to continue to do what we do as a community and to provide good to our community and to be here to provide this for you today. The ways you can do that is go to our website, CSL-LA.org, and click on donate. You can go to our app in the App Store. You'll see in our App Store right on the very home page a donate button. Mail in a check, which is you can do that to 1200 North La Brea Avenue, West Hollywood, California 90038, or my phone number is there if you would need to call me to have me handle that privately. And we support and appreciate your tax deductible donations and know that it's all put to good use. A reminder that each and every Wednesday morning we have a midweek morning meditation that takes place at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. You're not required to turn your camera on. It's just the method by which we provide this guided meditation. That's a little quick, easy, grounding tool to both remember who we are and to keep us on track, and just a great way to stay connected. So I invite all of you to participate in that. A reminder that once again, next Sunday, we will be back in person at our home at 1200 North La Brea Avenue. If you could join us in person, it would be greatly appreciative to see you there. James, as you've heard, will be our musician, and also we'll continue to stream that through Zoom and on YouTube. All are welcome to participate at whatever means that works for you. A big thank you to Travis Smith, our audio technician, for providing us with his wisdom and guidance each and every Sunday, and to Robert, who's back in town, and welcome back, Robert Hensley, who also works with us doing our admin and social media and technology for live streaming. Thank you, thank you. Feel free to sign up for our New Thought text for each morning that goes out. You can get all that information through our apps, through our website and or the app. Our website is csl-la.org. The app in the App Store is Center for Spiritual Living. You can follow us on all social media sites. And past Sundays are on YouTube. I believe it's where it is. I think that's it. And so we're going to close with James is going to come back and sing Love Is My Decision, and then after that I'm going to take us out with an affirmative prayer. I shared the lyrics with you before. Feel free to sing along, and that's it.
Love is my decision. It's up to me to give of my heart. Love is my decision. No one else can tell me to start. Once I decide to change my mind, Source will show me how. Love is my decision. My decision, right here, right now.
So I affirm and declare for each one of us that love, life's one vital energy, is indeed our decision. We choose love for our own personal growth, for a shift in our state of being, for a decision to evolve into a higher vibratory consciousness. And we each open up to letting Source showing us the way. I affirm for each one of us that we have a new ideology in regards to the presence and the power of the divine, of the one thing that exists in life, that is, nature is to create. We allow it to create through us. This brings us peace. It brings us calm. It brings us a deeper degree of self-knowing. It's from there that the law of life responds, as it always does, by corresponding. And so we then share who and what we are in life. We share our love, our essence, our divinity. We do that with grace and with ease to the best of our ability, and then allow life to do its thing gloriously and miraculously and mystically through us. We affirm that all is well, and so it is. Thank you for being here with us today. If you're joining us by means of YouTube, we're saying goodbye to you now. And if you're staying on with Zoom, we can have a brief hello if you want to turn your cameras on. Hope to see you all throughout the week. If you're in California in this wild atmospheric river that's moving our way, please stay safe, use your mind wisely, and know that you indeed are love and are loved. Peace out.